What's up, guys? It is that pin again. I'm here again with another video, and today we're going to be talking about the 2025 World Championship. There's a few things I want to talk about. I'm also probably going to hop around topics throughout the video a little bit after I'm done with the championship talk. I do want to say I actually did record a video for this, but they had released new information that I felt was kind of vital if I was going to post a public video. I won't be deleting the membership tab video. For anybody who doesn't know what that is, it's just people who are like members to my channel. I already had posted that one, and like for them I wanted to say that because I didn't want them to be like, hey, didn't you just post a video like this? Why did you just make another one? That is why, right? There was new information and I just felt like I kind of wanted to expand on it and talk on it. That being said, let's hop into this. Let's talk about the whole championship and everything, right? So big news, Commanders, the highly anticipated Doomsday Last Survivors World Championship is returning on June 22nd, 2025, this time in Bangkok, Thailand, as part of the 2025 IGG World Championship. I'm pretty hyped for this, honestly. I think that this was my best experience in the game. Honestly, this is my favorite thing about the game, the championship, after last year. Not only commentating in general, that was just really fun, the whole experience, the whole getting into that and stuff, but not even just that. It was the meeting all the people, all the players, just even talking about random stuff, and even just talking about the game, right? It just was like a surreal experience, and I was like, dude, this is awesome, man. And honestly, loved it, bro. I'm definitely gonna have to get a freaking haircut next time I go, though, because I looked hideous in the live stream. That being said, there was another post they made, and this is actually something I wanted to cover because I didn't cover this in my last video because it wasn't released when I made the video. They do mention some stuff here, and I actually want to say, in my last video, this is something I talked about. I had actually proposed to Sierra, and Sierra's one of the admins, and this might or might not have changed anything because I know that they were still in their planning phases when I messaged her and stuff and asked her, about stuff, whatever the case, right? So they were obviously in their planning phases, so it's very possible they had already planned to do a, let's say, Genesis War kind of design, right? And I'm going to tell you guys why I actually think Genesis War is far better than Pompe, right? In a world championship format. And even if it's not just better, I think that changing it up every year might be a pretty interesting dynamic, or even just using a Genesis War kind of layout map. I think it offers more versatility, and it offers you to it offers a different play style, because I think you guys got to understand when you consider there's going to be 4 teams here, and I don't know if they say it in this post, but okay, 4. Oh my gosh, bro. How did I miss that? I'm blind. Okay, but 4 elite teams, right? So you can assume this is probably going to be a Genesis War type design map. And what I wanted to say was I think there's just a lot more to kind of be done on something like Genesis War, right? I think there's a lot more versatility to be had, especially when you're bringing more teams into the mix. Not only just the fact that there's kind of more to play with, because I think one issue that was kind of with Pompe is it's kind of systematic, right? You go from zombies to incubator to swarming operation bases and defense stations or whatever the case, right? Or I said defense stations, but you know what I'm talking about, guys, right? You literally just go in a systematic order, and I do think that it can make for an interesting thing, but I do think there's very limited kind of stuff to commentate, kind of stuff to actually be done in that kind of map, and I think it limits kind of how much fighting or how interesting the fights are going to be. Whereas I think in a Genesis War map like the event or not, I do think that this will make the event better, frankly, right? You can hate Genesis War, but in a term of literally in the form of it being a watchable map, it's more interesting, frankly, right? I do think that it's just going to be more interesting. I think you also got to consider the fact that not only will these teams be trying to compete for points, they're also going to have to be blocking teams, right? So if one team is ahead in points, obviously the 3 other teams might be more inclined to kind of dogpile on them and target them and kind of get the advantage off of them. And I think this will kind of make for an interesting dynamic, like I said, where these guys are constantly doing this battle. And also the fact that you only have 8 players on each team means that you're going to have to be very selective to potentially who's defending, let's say, the tower, who's defending, sending marches into the science hub, who's sending marches into defense stations, right? And obviously this might just end up becoming a swarm mess where people are just swarming, science hub, etc. out like crazy. But there's very few kind of things that you can work with here, and I think it's going to really force you to kind of choose your marches wisely, right? So I am interested in how this is going to kind of develop and how this would turn out in a tournament format. It might still be not super interesting, but I do think that this makes for a more interesting fight compared to Pompe, and it's going to force teams to kind of choose how they want to fight. I do wonder if they're gonna make it a like round based like kind of event, right? Where like there's 3 rounds and each round is only like 30 minutes, so it's not gonna be like an hour and 30 minutes. So I am interested in how that's gonna work as well, but I guess we'll end up having to see nonetheless, right? Um, yeah, it says share your expectations. I'm not going to really talk about this right now, but it does say, I guess you can share your expectations here. You can stand a chance, though, if I guess you share your expectations here, to win complimentary 3-day, 2-night stay at the hotel here, whatever, in Bangkok, which, they'll probably like pay for that. I'm not sure if they'll pay for like the flights and stuff, but overall I am interested, man. I think that this is nice. I love the tournaments. Honestly, this is my favorite thing about the game. Love or hate the game, this is definitely like one of my more so enjoyed aspects, right? I just love the tournament, love meeting the people, and I am very interested. One thing I actually want to mention though is I was talking with Z. For anybody who doesn't know who Z is, he's a pretty good player who knows what he's talking about. He's pretty informal in the game, right? I was talking to him and I was like, hey man, would you be interested if you were allowed to? And I did recommend him to Sierra, so I'll see if that ever goes anywhere. Obviously, like I said, they're still in the planning period, so even if I'm selected, I don't even know it yet. You know what I mean? Like if I think the only reason I couldn't tell you guys before, by the way, because if you guys didn't know, I actually knew about the tournament like months, at least like half a year in advance before I posted anything on it, but I wasn't allowed, or I wasn't supposed to speak on it because obviously it was very secretive and they were still in the woodworks on it, and this is obviously the first ever championship they're doing, so they don't want news being just spilled out willy-nilly, so obviously it was more secretive. So I'm assuming if I am allowed to commentate, they're going to allow me to be like, hey, yeah, I'm flying out here to commentate, right? Whereas last time I couldn't say anything until the very end, or I don't know if I was allowed to after like the actual tournament itself was announced, but I didn't really want to mention it. You know what I mean? Because it was kind of like a big moment for me, and I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna mention that I'm flying out. Either way, Sierra's really cool. She's always kind of accommodated me. She was like one of the people who was kind of in charge of me when I was, down there and stuff, and they were kind of taking care of me. So I do appreciate her, and I think that she was, doing a pretty good job, and she's a pretty good admin. So I appreciate her. I think that this is honestly interesting. I am interested, and I want to hear what you guys think about that. I'm gonna change because I'm actually gonna talk about a few things real quick. What's up, guys? I know my audio just cut off. I wanted to like clarify it real quick. My dog was like freaking out, so I had to restart my footage, just so you guys know, because I was transferring over to my camera, and then he freaked out. He was like barking at whatever, so I had to calm him down. But now I wanted to actually talk about, and I don't know why I'm talking in like my Valorant accent. I wanted to talk a little bit about the actual tournament itself, because I did think this was kind of interesting, and I want to tell you guys, I actually had an interview, or kind of a podcast, I guess you could say, I did with Hands, right? And it was like a 3 to 4 hour call, and I do want to say it was a little bit annoying freaking editing this, because basically what ended up happening is, unlike now, where I'm using OBS, I was using a software called Twitch Studio, so the audio was much lower if I was like having somebody talking to me, right? Whereas like now it captures the audio just fine on Discord, which I can still manage the footage, right? But I'm thinking that I'm gonna post this before the next championship, maybe within like the month or something. That's the plan. Because like I said, the audio was really weird when it came to like other people talking, because I had like Sarky and I had Hands in a call, and I was like, yo, let's get lit, right? But I basically had them in a call, and I was just talking to them about the tournament, and there were some things that we talked about. For example, one thing I thought that they could improve on, and I do want to say, I do think that they did, like I said, a good job on the overall tournament, given that it was the first time around. I do think that there were things they really should have worked on. For example, I know that there were players who were playing on like they were playing on like the iPads or whatever, right? And I think they were on like the I swear, I don't know if I get this right, but I'm pretty sure they were on the public network or whatever for like the hotel and stuff. And it's like, no, you're supposed to have like your own. I feel like you're supposed to have your own freaking internet for that freaking type of tournament, right? You don't want people like lagging it up, hogging the internet up. I don't even know. It was just really weird. Another thing, okay. I want noise canceling headphones, okay? I know I probably yapped about this. I'm going to be saying it in the podcast thing or whatever, right? But noise canceling headphones. I had to control so much of what I was saying, what was coming out of my mouth. Whereas like if I wanted to be focused on being the best commentator I could have been or like making the experiences enjoyable, it cut down the amount of enjoyability I could give like the people watching or the audience because there were no noise canceling headphones. So if I talked about something that one team didn't know about or one team did know about, whatever the case, right? It would basically screw over the other team potentially, because it would blare over the speakers because frankly, obviously you still want me to be commentating, for example, right? And you want the like audience in the venue to hear it because if I'm not commentating to them either, right? They're just like it's imagine showing up and being like, yo, crickets, right? Like there's no sound. So I do get me like coming over the speakers and being like, hey guys, oh my gosh, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening, right? That would be, pretty obvious. But I do think like noise canceling headphones, dude. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. So they don't have to hear what I say, and then I can talk freely and I can kind of commentate over the whole tournament to the best of my ability, right, and make it more entertaining. Because I think like, and even if it's not me, right, even if somebody else is commentating, I still think that needs to be applied, right? I think the lack of noise canceling headphones was literally a killer, and that made me rage out basically. I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot of complaints about everything that happened. I honestly feel like a lot of it went well. I feel like if there are any people who went to the tournament last time who are watching this video, you can maybe comment down below. I will say it does look like, and I might be wrong because I forget how many participants participated last year. No, was it 10 and 10? Or was it like 12 and 12 or something like that? I forget how many. But I do feel like they have more participants this year. And I will say, obviously, they couldn't have like the teams, if they're doing a Genesis War format, they couldn't have the teams too small, right? So like 8 members each team, that's fair, right? If they do more than that, you got to also think about it. If they want to have it 10, 10 each team, that's 2 more players for each team that they're basically going to have to fly out, pay for, accommodate, etc., right? That's, sheesh, man. Like, that's 8 players, right? So like if they want to add more people in there, it just doesn't work really well. And it wouldn't be very effective for them, especially like, I don't know. I mean, obviously they have the money, but it just wouldn't make much sense for them, right, to like fly all those people. That being said, I feel like I don't have a whole lot to talk about. I mean, I kind of just here to yap. If you guys want a little, check out my dog. What's up? Oh yeah, actually, while I'm doing this, I got this merch. It took about a month or two to freaking arrive. I got this merch from CoffeeZilla. I don't know if any of you guys have watched his channel. It is lit, right? You might be like, yo, this is a bland shirt, okay? Look at my back, guys, okay? I got the freaking best shirt in the world. I kind of wanted to flex that t-shirt, though. I just love my CoffeeZilla merch, okay? Also, if you guys want to check out Odie over here, he's a big little boy. He's a big little boy. And he's got eye boogers. Okay, either way, I feel like that's mostly it to what I wanted to chat about. I do look forward to the overall tournament. I'm looking forward, to hopefully being flown out again because I had a very enjoyable experience last time. I will say that. I mean, I might sound like a shill right now, which I might be a shill. I might honestly be a shill. But the tournaments are the best thing about this game, frankly, right? Like, I love them. I love them. I think it's also good for the game itself because they wouldn't be running this if it didn't make sense for them. It's probably something that like they can use to promote, get more players in, more players interested about the game, yada yada yada, right? Overall, I do appreciate you guys for watching as always. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. I will see you guys in the next one, and that is about it. Peace out.